Yaddle!
Yaddle, Chattle!
A Star Wars podcast, baby. A Star Wars podcast that is sweeping the galaxy right now. Rising up the Star Wars podcasting charts. We're all the way up to 18,412. Jedi Jared. My name is Darth David. That's the voice you're listening to right now. The number one most entertaining Sith in the galaxy. It's official. I've got Will you stop clapping?
Well, you complained last time that I didn't clap.
I know.
So clap.
But I mean, stop it after fucking 4 seconds. Well, give the goddamn clapping a rest over here. I thought I was going crazy.
Now I don't.
I thought there was someone working on my house outside with the hammering.
Now I clap too much. Okay, great.
I mean, it just kept going on and on and on.
Well,
all of a sudden I couldn't hear myself think. I'm trying to give Trevor, a shout out. Brand new artwork from Trev. It's gorgeous. I'm going to feature it in the thumbnail of this very, very episode. So go look at that. It's Darth David standing next to a Sith. And I'm holding a plaque. Number one most entertaining Sith in the galaxy, Darth David. Now you clap, meatball. And clap. Trev, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
I gotta thank you for that one. Very cool artwork. And Trev said he would even do more art.
Okay.
So I actually sent Trev a photo of your and I's heads.
Oh.
And I said maybe a little Millennium Falcon, or I was thinking one of those double TIE fighters. I always love the look of those double TIE fighters.
The bombers, those are TIE bombers.
I wanted to do this this topic for a while, and you keep shutting me down. You keep shooting me down every goddamn week. I wanted to do something called Star Wars Best.
Okay.
Where we just, very simple. What's the best spaceship? What's the best weapon? What's the best alien? What's the best creature? What's the best Sith? Best Jedi? Blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Anyway, since we're discussing ships, and since I've gotten this segment, okay, Darth David comes up with a segment, and you've shut it down for 9 goddamn weeks in a row, I'm taking over the show.
So
the most entertaining Sith in the galaxy is taking over.
Okay.
And we're going to do this goddamn topic now, Star Wars Best.
Now or at the end?
Right fucking now.
Okay.
Because I'm talking about Millennium Falcons, and I'm talking about double seated 2-man TIE fighters. Those were usually the TIE bombers,
yes,
right?
The TIE bombers.
Of all the ships that you, Jedi Jared, would personally want to fly in and live in, what would be the best ship in Star Wars for you?
I don't know. I thought Luthen's ship on Andor is pretty fucking badass.
Luthen's ship is pretty cool because it's basically, the way I'm interpreting it is it's like a Toyota Corolla that he has like souped up, which could like be like any fucking like drag racing car from Fast and the Furious. Like, and, it's just like, oh, look at this Toyota Corolla. It just like hops up to the fucking race line and then just totally blows away the other cars, like a Lamborghini or Ferrari. It's brilliant. He's got like a fucking, like a Volkswagen Beetle, and then all of a sudden they're thinking shoot missiles at you and shit.
Yeah, I thought it was very much like you would say, it's kind of a beater car.
100%.
If they handed it to Q from James Bond,
I mean,
007.
And we'll go into that during the Endor episode. But that's very recent. That's the best ship in Star Wars.
There was that, and then recently on Rebels, he had something. It was fuck. It's called like a blade. A blade wing.
Yeah, okay, fine. Your choice is your choice. Is that what you're going with?
Yeah.
No Millennium Falcon for you.
I feel
too what? Too obvious? Is that the reason?
I don't know, because
the Falcon seems cozy for starters. You got the game room. You got the nice leather couches. When Lando was in charge, he had a beautiful closet.
You know what it was?
He had a nice wet bar.
It's like, when Lando had it, it was like a really classy.
Yeah.
And then Han takes it over.
Han made it into a van that a high school senior would drive. Who know like
the shag wagon.
The fucking kid knows that the van's got like 3 months left in it, so you just don't give a shit. I literally had a car like that. I had a 1976 brown and orange Volkswagen van. It looked like a giant can of beans going down the road.
Like a microbus?
Disgusting. No, like one of those hippie mobiles, you know?
Microbus.
Whatever they were fucking called. But the ones with the round roof and stuff. Any type of 60s movie, you see one of those rounded Volkswagen vans, okay?
Yeah.
But they're usually in a nicer color. You know, blue and white. Or, you know, something nice. Brown body, orange roof. I swear to God, it looked like a can of beans. A can of baked beans.
That probably was done on purpose.
But the fucking car was so bad, senior year of high school, we actually took out, it was dying. So we took out the middle seat, and on our way home, we would get, like, if a couple, like, younger kids, like a couple freshmen needed a ride home, we would say, sure, but then you'd have to, we'd make them do Fight Club. On the Garden State Parkway in New Jersey,
Coming
as we're
back
driving
from
home from CBA to, like, Spring Lake, so a 20-minute ride, we would force two freshmen, and I remember a couple of them, too. We'd force them to do Fight Club. I was so goddamn fucking evil. I shouldn't say we. Darth David would do this. That was it.
It wasn't you and Jason?
It was usually me and Jason, but I actually had a few solo matches myself, sadly. You know, people are like, you're going to do this? You're by yourself, Dave. It's like, that's kind of weird. It's like, shut up and fight back there. This is for my fucking entertainment, you pieces of shit. It's a 20-minute drive. Oh, yeah, because you know why? The fucking radio, nothing worked in the car.
So you needed.
It was 1996. This thing was from 1976. It was 20 years old. It was falling apart. It was Dunsky. Anyway, no, for me.
The Millennium Falcon?
No! Why wouldn't you go with a nice Star Destroyer?
Okay.
Davy Mack's going with the Star Destroyer. Why? I like all of the amenities that a Star Destroyer can provide. I'm sure Emperor Palpatine has a fitness room. You know, if you get up early in the morning, I'm gonna hit the treadmill now. Or what's one of those things? The elliptical. I'm going on the elliptical now. I shan't be bothered from 7 to 8:30. Plus, I'm sure there's a nice little jacuzzi area, a rub-down room. I'm sure there's a few snack bars. I look at it as a very nice fitness club that also has lots of missiles and strong tractor beams. A lot of Imperials. And I like the fact that I have lots of Imperials I can boss around. And if they fuck up or if they lose a ship that they were supposed to catch, I can just choke them out real quick.
I don't think the Emperor actually leaves Coruscant that often.
I mean, he leaves off and he's gone to the second Death Star. No, I disagree. I don't want to get into Andor yet. I want to save that for later.
Okay.
But the way Mon Mothma seems to talk about him, it doesn't feel like he's on Coruscant.
I feel like he just doesn't.
Do you feel like he's on Coruscant in the Andor series? I don't think that Palpatine is.
Well, I just think that he's just never around because he doesn't need to be there.
Where would he go, though, if he's never around?
Well, he probably has some, like...
You mean he's in a Coruscant penthouse?
Yeah.
Is what you think? Okay. So that's your Star Wars best. My Star Wars, the best ship for me is the Star Destroyer. Also, before the Millennium Falcon became so iconic, it's the Star Destroyer that was the most iconic ship. Yes, you see Leia's ship first. That's the very first ship we ever saw in Star Wars. But what's the most iconic? What's the shot? It's the
big fucking ship.
The big ship going over the camera's head, and it just went on and on and on. And you're like, what the hell? How big is this ship anyway? And ever since then, I've been obsessed with Star Destroyers. Ever since then, including the Super Star Destroyer. But Darth David doesn't need a
Dreadnought
Super Star Destroyer. I feel like there's something a little cumbersome about it. About a Super Star Destroyer, you know? I mean, you're basically flying like a small planet. I want a little maneuverability in case I gotta escape a situation. Don't give me the Vader thing. Don't give me, what was his, the Executioner. I believe that was the name of his Super Star Destroyer in Empire Strikes Back. I believe the name of the ship was the Executioner.
That's fucking
awesome. Vader knew what, Vader was like really good at running like his own gimmick. Like he would have been a brilliant wrestler back in the day. Because he always stays consistent with his gimmick. Okay. So that's it. So your Star Wars best is some bullshit fucking ship that you saw in a goddamn cartoon.
Yeah, well, here's what.
Or it's Luthen's ship that we just saw like a week ago.
So the ship
for the first time.
The ship on Rebels, the Blade Wing, had like a small version of the Death Star cannon.
Right, the micro Death Star technology that we've heard about.
Yeah.
So often we saw that in Episode 8, Last Jedi.
Yeah.
When on the crate. When they were having that battle there, and they had the cannon to blast that fucking thing. That made some sense. I always was wondering, like, that beam was trying to break down the door, and then Finn flies right into the direction of that beam. How did that kill him? It wasn't a laser? What was it? It was just like pulsating light?
Or maybe it was heating up, and maybe I had to reach a certain heat. I don't know.
Let's do some now. So do want to say check out the thumbnail, right? Like I said, or on your phone. And big thanks, big shout out to Trev for that excellent Darth David, most entertaining Sith in the galaxy artwork. I think it's very, very cool. We very appreciate that. You said there was also an email from Tom.
Yes. So Mr. Tom Cody says, "Hello, gentlemen.
Okay.
Hope all is well.
Yes.
Had a question for Darth David. What would a conversation sound like between the Emperor and Cassian Andor? I heard you do Cassian Andor's voice a few times, and I think you do a great impression of both characters.
Oh!
Can you do a quick little conversation in character for humor purpose? Love the show.
I'm afraid humor for purposes. So I have to do both people? Sometimes it sounds strange when you're doing both impressions and you're talking to yourself. What is it? It's Cassian talking to the Emperor?
Yeah, and he says, "Love the show. Keep the excellent work. And since Jared didn't want to read my last email on air from a few months ago, and David did, I regret to inform Jedi Jared, I hereby deduct 100,000 points from
That's fair. That's fair.
Darth David.
You know what? Another -2. On top of that, -100,000 for you, -2 for me. Okay, minus 2 points from me for you.
Okay.
In addition to that, because
says,
that's right. You should have read his email. Shame on you.
Darth David plus 500,000 points.
Yeah. Thank you, Tom Cody.
Plus,
appreciate that.
For Sith Stanley plus 50,000 points.
Everyone loves Sith Stanley. He had to fill in when you fucking bailed out on me that 1 week.
Okay.
You piece of garbage.
And then he's giving himself plus 5,000 points.
I agree with that. In fact, Tom, give yourself another 4 points from me, your friend Darth David.
Okay.
As for Cassian Andor, oh man, your breath stinks. That's all I got. I feel like Palpatine doesn't brush his teeth a lot.
Well,
and how did you get in here? How would Cassian Andor and the Emperor even meet? I imagine that maybe Cassian
had to
at some
assassinate
point
him.
Or maybe Palpatine was vacationing on that Miami planet that Cassian's at. And, they kind of like meet on the beach or whatnot. And he's like, I'm going in for a dip. He's like, oh, the water's cold. The water's only 64 degrees. It's okay. I have a wetsuit. Yes, and then he lights it on fire with the lightning. I just heated up a little bit. The attack on the water temperature by the Jedi has resulted in me using my lightning to heat up the water. Now it's time to go in for a dip. Oh, I forgot my boogie board. I have a Mach 77, Mr. Palpatine. I'll be in 1 moment. I left my yellow and black Mach 77 boogie board at home. The end. Scene.
End scene.
Applause. I mean, that was rough. That was a little raw. But Jared could have given me the shout out. You know, he could have given me, like, you know, he likes to play little fucking tricks on the Dave Man. You could have told me about this email a week ago before the episode, so I could have written something down rather than looking like a psychopath who's talking to himself.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because
I tried my best, Tom.
I was re-listening to an old Ron and Fez show.
Oh my God! I asked you last fucking week,
but
to not do an Opie and Anthony Ron and Fez episode reference.
This actually ties back to this. You were hypnotized, and you had to do a conversation.
You realize that you're sounding pathetic to the Yaddle Chattle peoples?
Do I really?
You sound stuck in the past.
I'm not stuck.
You absolutely bring up O&A and Ron and Fez every single week. While I keep saying I love those shows, we do other things.
Okay.
Are you aware that the Davey Mac Sports program, my sports show, by the way, I'll plug that. Since he's fucking plugging the other fucking goddamn radio shows on Yaddle Chattle, the Davey Mac Sports program is the #1 independent sports podcast of all time. That's a fact. That's not me saying it. That's Stitcher and Spotify doing that, and that's iTunes editorial team presenting us with Best in Show for the best sports podcast in America. That's a fact. I do that. I do this. I do the Eastside David Son Wrestling Show. My wrestling show that I do with my son, Sith Stanley, the Eastside David Son Wrestling Show, it's been picked up and nationally syndicated by Beasley Media. How about that? I mean, I just got we got our spring and fall books, okay, at WRAT 95.9 FM. Where I rock morning radio Mondays through Fridays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Check us out at WRAT.com. We got it's a huge fucking station too, okay? We're talking about listenership potential of 1.5 million people between Ocean and Monmouth counties. And bottom line, who's #1? Darth David's #1 at the Jersey Shore. And yet you can't stop looking into the past, you fucking pathetic meatball.
Well, I mean, it's part of an assignment for us.
Please.
So I'll stop bringing it up.
What did you want to say quickly about Ron and Fez?
Oh,
and
no.
Then
You had to do...
I did hypnotism?
Well, you got into an argument with yourself where... the Midnight Rider had to argue with Dave doing board gossip.
You know that no one knows what you're talking about,
Someone
is my
does.
point.
Someone does.
Fucking Yaddle
That's
Chat.
for that one person.
You can't assume our brand new gaining traction Star Wars podcast has any relevancy to a Ron and Fez bit from 15 fucking years ago. You're saying things like Midnight Rider and no one on Yaddle Channel knows what the fuck it is you're talking about. Stay fucking focused.
Okay.
But we literally had this discussion last week.
I forgot.
Please don't bring them up. And I love them again. This is more about him. Can you please not bring them up next week?
Okay.
That's a legitimate challenge to you.
Challenge accepted.
There's plenty of areas to bring them up. Yes, you said we're working on a project. Keep it for the project, dummy.
Okay. I will.
All right. The other thing is, Jedi Jared.
Yes.
You were talking to me about some Japanese anime studio.
Yeah.
You're very excited for?
Studio, is it Ghibli?
Ghibli. Did you just fucking make that up? Are we gonna get taken down from YouTube because you just said some goddamn racist phrase?
It's,
Ghibli. That's the name of it.
They're the big animations like.
Oh God, you're just making shit up.
No,
today.
I'm not. They did the.
Their names are Ghibli.
No, it's either Ghibli or.
Oh,
Ghibli.
oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, you said Ghibli, and I'm like, there's no way.
So they are a very famous anime studio.
Must be real famous when you can't even pronounce their name.
Well, if you've ever seen all those Miyazaki movies, they're the studio.
No idea what you're talking about. It makes as much sense as the Midnight Rider.
Spirited Away won an Oscar.
I don't watch anime.
Your kids would love it, actually.
Okay, fine. They can watch it. I'm not against it. I watched that Star Wars anime. Is this the Star Wars anime project? Or are they just redoing that?
No, this is a different anime studio.
Okay, I like the Star Wars anime. Some of those animes.
I haven't started that yet. Maybe we should save that for.
They're not all great. There's I would say there's a few though that were definitely worth talking about.
All right, we'll talk.
There's
about
a few that are cool. Yeah,
we'll talk about it in 2 weeks.
Yeah. All right, so that's going on. The Grogu Dust Bunnies animation you were all excited for.
That was from the same studio that made that.
Grogu was from Ghibli Ghibli?
Yeah.
All right. I like the Grogu Dust Bunnies thing. That was nice. That was fun. Nice, the Grogu song and whatnot.
Yeah, with the little Minecraft-esque music.
That's the Grogu music from, I thought that was just the Grogu music from Mandalorian.
I thought that was supposed to be like...
Ding, 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 ding. No, that's when we see Grogu in, sentimental parts, they have that music. That, to me, is very much John Williams' Jaws when Roy Scheider is at the dinner table, and he's had a rough day, and he's doing this, and his little son is also... He's imitating his father, because his father's his hero. So every time Roy Scheider folds his hands, the kid folds his hands and stuff. Go and watch that scene in Jaws. It's like ding, 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 ding. It's very delicate. Go watch that and listen to John Williams. I'm not saying it's a ripoff. I love it. It's John Williams. It's all John Williams is kind of in the Star Wars fabric anyway. But if you listen to that song, it's very similar to the. But I think that might even be a little bit intentional. Because that was a very tender moment. Yeah. Moment. Okay. And with Pedro Pascal and Grogu, they're kind of, a father-son type of deal. So I would not be surprised if John Williams' Jaws was the inspiration for Grogu's theme. Here's another thing. And then we'll go into Andor talk. Andor apparently not doing great with ratings. One of the softest if not the smallest rated or smallest audience for the Star Wars live action shows. Now, at the same time, it's very much critically hailed. I am expecting the show to pick up some very serious Emmy nominations. I think Disney will push it. They should. I think they'll push Stellan Skarsgård. For Luthen, they might push Andy Serkis, for...
That's what I was reading online, a lot of people were like, Andy Serkis, just hand him the Emmy right now.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not arguing. He's absolutely amazing in the show. But so is Stellan Skarsgård. Look, it's a very well-acted show. It's very well-written. It's a great show. But, for some reason, small audience, maybe, the name Andor didn't pop out at people. I was never opposed to a Star Wars story. I know a lot of people didn't like that. That got a lot of heat. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. I actually thought that kind of worked. I even liked the alliteration. Star, story,
Yes.
Star Wars story. Alliteration there. So, maybe the title doesn't help this.
I didn't... The numbers just might be, if here's the big thing. Average television audience has significantly dropped off because there's just so much content. So if, 10 million people, or say 20 million people watch Mandalorian in a week, right? Mm-hmm. They might not watch it, but that
would be huge, though. I don't think 10 million people are watching Mando. But go ahead. But go with your point.
If 10 million people are watching Mandalorian, and then say 15 million, 7 million people watched Obi-Wan, and maybe 5 million people watched Boba Fett. Mm-hmm. If Andor gets 2.5 million people, that's not bad for television. I mean, a lot of especially something that's cable or streaming, but it's not as much as 10 million.
Yeah, but I don't even know the actual numbers.
But I'm just saying,
because they don't release, I don't think, the actual numbers, so we don't know. If it's 2.5 million, what if it's 200,000? We don't know how many people they're getting. But in order to combat that, Disney Plus will be releasing the first 2 episodes of Andor on Hulu, which is where I suggest you watch it, but also FX And I think it even said they're going to do an ABC viewing.
Well, they all own it. It's all one company.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, ABC, like, would you want to watch it on ABC, on TV?
No, I'd watch it on Hulu.
Yeah. You don't want to watch this with commercials. This is a very cinematic show.
Well, I have Hulu with commercials, but I'd still watch it anyway on
Oh, God.
On Hulu. Well, the commercials aren't as bad as television commercials.
Oh! All right. It's time to discuss Andor.
Okay.
Another great episode. And I enjoyed it because clearly we're setting up for a big fucking shit show showdown next week, episode 12. Everyone, it feels like, on the show is going to Marva's funeral. Doesn't it? I mean, we know the Deirdre's going there. Feels like Cassian's going to go back there.
Cyril.
Bix is there. I think Luthen will go back there. You have the other girl who's stalking him. Cyril just learned. Everyone's going to be going to this fucking funeral. What the fuck is going to pop off at this thing? Oh, I can't wait. See, I loved that. That to me was like good wrestling booking. Each person was like, they were given a very quick, decisive reason why, oh my God, I need to go back to this funeral. Oh, she died. There's going to be a funeral? Oh, I'm there. Everyone. Woo! I'm excited for this funeral. I love the episode. What's a quick Jedi Jared takeaway?
It wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Uh-oh! Criticism from Jedi Jared.
Well, I thought that Marva wasn't just going to die like that. I thought that
That's right.
I thought that she was going to, like...
You've been making a really shitty, bad prediction for several weeks that Marva was going to, like, blow up like an Imperial tank or, like, go down as, like, a rebel hero. You said she was going to blow something up and create a flood. And your stupid predictions couldn't have been more wrong. Minus 35 points for you, plus 12 for me. Because almost every prediction I make turns out to be true.
Okay.
Here's another thing. Here's another thing. Anto Krieger. He's also on the Yaddle Chattle thumbnail of this episode. He's the guy in the blue hologram. Takeaway. He looks like New York Football Giants head coach Brian Dable. Look up Brian Dable immediately. There's also a little bit of a Jedi Jared look to him if your beard was darker. See, you have the blondish beard.
It's red. It's not as red as
well,
yours.
you were a blonde. You're a blonde-haired person.
I was.
When you had hair.
I had hair.
You know.
Now I just.
But that was always your thing. You were blonde. That's more of a blondish beard. Regardless, Anto Krieger, Brian Dable, almost the same person. Hell, it looks like they're both wearing blue windbreakers, for Christ's sakes. Anto Krieger. And I'm glad we finally got to see Anto Krieger because I was starting to get paranoid that I was supposed to know who Anto Krieger is. We've been hearing the name Krieger from like the entire series. It feels like Luthen's Krieger. We gotta get Krieger.
Aren't there always like on television shows, there's always some character that they always mention that's like never there?
Yeah, but does this guy feel that important? I don't know, especially after seeing him that he looks like Brian Dable, the bowling league football coach.
Are you underwhelmed or overwhelmed then?
I'm a New York Giants fan, and Brian Dable's got us out to a 7-2 start, so I have nothing but love for Anto Krieger. I'm just saying, yeah. I mean, Brian Dable's great. He's been an unbelievable coach for the Giants, so this is a compliment to Krieger.
Even though Krieger's being set up to die.
Oh, that fucker. Stupid ass Krieger is going to get his lights turned off real quick. How about that scene with Luthen and Saw Gerrera? Those guys make fantastic opponents, but also allies. Yes. You know, love-hate type of thing. Two Tubes was there. I love Two Tubes. And he grabs Two Tubes. First, he tries to fucking bullshit Saw Gerrera and says that Two Tubes is giving him info.
Is the plant or the
that was the word. I mean, it was funny.
Well, you know what it is. It's
but he grabs Two Tubes' gun and points it right at Saw Gerrera and says, "You listen up, Saw."
This is something we were talking about last time. Saw Gerrera has kind of like been in the minutia of the shit for so long that he can't see the big picture anymore.
Yeah.
And it seems like Luthen is the big picture guy.
Yeah. But Luthen's very, very cutthroat. He is going to be sacrificing Krieger and 50 men. I mean, there's a part of you that goes, Luthen, save Krieger. That's 50 guys fighting for you. That to me was a more controversial risk than some of the other stuff Luthen has pulled. Because I hate to say this, but in a weird way, with some of the civilian deaths that I think Luthen is okay with, that to me makes sense that you would do that because it puts it out there in the public. Oh my God, the Empire is killing these innocent people. But soldiers, especially a group of 50 soldiers, that's an asset. That's valuable. I don't know if you should be sacrificing 50 soldiers against the Empire is what I'm saying.
I think what at least in my opinion, what he's trying to do. It's very much kind of like a it will try to become a remember the Alamo moment where these guys go down, like, you know,
all right,
fighting the Emperor.
Yeah.
And it will hopefully, by losing, I think it was 50 men?
50 men.
It was like,
he said 50 men.
By losing all those people, hopefully he can gain 500 men.
All right.
To kind of galvanize the rebellion, which I think is what this next episode is going to be. I think Marva's funeral is actually going to serve a greater purpose.
Well, no, I mean, I just think Marva's funeral, shit's going down.
Oh, absolutely.
There's going to be something happen. There's going to be some gunplay.
What did you make of the guy? He's an Imperial spy. He was hanging out at the cantina that the one chick from the heist is like working at. Kinta. She's working at.
Yes.
And she's watching him. She must know that
She's not watching him.
Do you think she knows?
She's watching Cassian's house to take out Cassian still, I believe. And he's watching her. I do think he's watching her.
Oh, I thought he's watching for Cassian.
I think he's doing both.
He knows he's I haven't seen any. I think that they're both looking for Cassian, but neither one of them knows that.
I feel like he might be on to her. I feel like the Imperial guy might be on the Kinta, but you might be right. I have to go back and watch that guy again. But I noticed that guy last episode too. We saw that guy last episode.
But
what about him though? What do you think he's going to do?
I don't know. I mean, everything. Shit. I think that him and her are going to get into some kind of conflict because they're staying based.
Let me ask you a question. Luthen, wanted to kill Cassian, obviously, because Cassian could tie all the old Donnie stuff back to Luthen, he presents problems. Luthen wants this to be like. If he wants the appearance of this to be the people are rising up against the Empire because of the Empire's, controlling nature, but he doesn't want to be, the guy who created the revolution. He doesn't want the credit because then it's going to be like, well, it's just Luthen's war. It's got nothing to do with me.
No, I think about it in a different way. I think that I'm not looking at it necessarily in the Star Wars perspective. I'm looking at it like if we were to take this out and make it like a political thriller, right?
Yes.
Like not set in the Star Wars universe, right? Say this was, something in Europe or here in the United States. Luthen's this wealthy guy bankrolling some kind of right or left wing domestic action.
Sure.
Right? Shit's about to get real for him. Like
yeah.
The heist was something fun, but this is like a lot more implications and it's a lot more entrenched, and I don't know if him, and I felt the same way with Mon Mothma, where it's like this is fun to fund these actions because it makes me feel like I'm actually making a difference, but now like I have a lot more shit at stake. Shit's getting, like, things are coming that can actually come back to me and bite me in the ass.
But here's my question, though, with Luthen, okay? Yeah, I mean, I agree with all that. I think you're not saying... Yes, Luthen wants to go after the Empire. He wants to do his thing.
I think he wants to have his cake and eat it too.
But I don't think he wants the credit, and I just don't think that he wants anyone thinking like he doesn't want tied. He doesn't want to be tied to a revolution, not because he's scared, but because appearance-wise, revolution looks better when it's a bunch of people uprising against a dictatorship rather than it's just some good dude. Then it's like Charlie Wilson's War. You know, that movie with, or book, but first, but then the film, which was great with Tom Hanks and Philip Seymour Hoffman. I mean, Tom Hanks is basically Luthen in that movie. Tom Hanks basically says, you know, he starts digging around about Afghanistan and this and that, and he starts, you know, basically creating a war in Afghanistan with those folks against the Russians. And then they would turn around and get mad at us years later and became Al-Qaeda because we would leave them. And that's why it's a very interesting story.
And now we're funding Al-Qaeda again.
But Luthen's got a lot in common with Charlie Wilson. And I think, though, he knows he's smart. He knows that people would look at it as Luthen's war. So he doesn't want in any way, shape, or form to be connected to any of these acts. And Cassian's out there. Having said that.
That's an interesting point.
Having said that.
That's a very interesting point.
It is. Having said that. I thought he had taken off the assassination. Now, I am a little, what I'm saying is I'm a little confused. Didn't Luthen, he definitely was going to, you know, take out Cassian. You know, Cassian's guy. Wasn't there a couple episodes after that happened where he was thinking about, like, I need to find Cassian first because I don't want him to be taken out? I thought that was also something that was going on. So I'm confused as if Luthen wants him dead or not.
Did anyone know that Cassian was in jail?
No. He's a fake name, Keith.
Yeah, so I don't think anyone actually knows where Cassian is.
No, they don't. But that's not what I'm saying. Does Luthen want him dead or not?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because I'm actually confused about that. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Kinta's obviously there to stalk him, to kill him. But that doesn't mean that, you know, what I'm saying is don't forget their radio communications got shut down. So maybe Kinta's under the impression of, I have to kill him, but Luthen has taken off the hit.
That's possible.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. No, maybe they're doing this on purpose. Maybe there's supposed to be a whole, it's all going to come to a head.
Yes, I think we're looking for the powder keg right now.
And I think that there's a great chance of it being in episode 12. The two aliens that,
the fisherman,
Melshi and, the fisherman, those nets were awesome. Gooey, thick, freaky alien-ish nets. Then they had some kind of strange accent. Where were they from? The Bahamas or something?
So I watch a lot of trailers.
They could have been cousins with Jar Jar. I felt like.
No, I felt like the one main guy was a a Canadian.
Yeah, they were Trailer Park Boys.
No, one
aliens.
sounded like fucking Ricky from Trailer Park Boys.
Fucking Trailer Park aliens.
The main guy that was talking sounded like Ricky from Trailer Park Boys.
There was a Trailer Park Boys aspect to these two aliens, for sure.
And then the other guy, I thought he was more of like a Japanese because he kind of had that sumo wrestler samurai hairdo.
I loved them though. I loved them.
Those guys were great.
I loved them. And again, I want to make sure I understood. Those guys let him have the ship.
I think they took him.
What?
I think they're these guys aren't actually. Because I didn't really understand what he was saying.
I didn't know. I thought Cassian was trying to say we don't like the Empire. We hate the Empire.
He was trying to get him to
But those aliens might not hate the Empire.
No, I think they do.
Okay.
Because he was saying they take our water. They take
you're right.
They kill all the life.
They pollute the water.
So he's no, we're not them. And he's oh, okay.
But then they let him out of the nets.
Yeah, they let him out of the nets, and then I think they dropped him off on the planet. They're oh, here, get in the back, we'll have some beers.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Because they seem like fishermen. That's what fishermen would do. You ever seen those movies where it's a log, it's a rough and tumble guy who's got a really dangerous job. So it's either Deadliest Catch or a
Oh
logger
yeah,
or a coal miner.
I used to watch Deadliest Catch.
They're like
It was one of my shows.
a few of these like little like they're usually big burly men, and they're not afraid because they deal with like the potentiality of dying.
Sure.
So it's like, oh, these are two little pipsqueaks, whatever.
Yeah,
like
though these guys can't hurt us. It's like capturing a couple of mice for Christ's sake.
let's
fucking let them go.
Let's let them hitchhike.
I mean, because those aliens were huge.
Oh, they would have torn him to shreds.
But I love those guys.
That guy had a fucking switchblade in his hand.
And everything in Tony Gilroy's Star Wars is just so weird. But I say in a good way.
It's fun.
It's so
different.
It's strange. It in a good way. I think it's great too. Okay, here's the part that I was upset about. The goddamn little bee droid.
Well, he lost his mom.
That was very sad. Davy Mack's crying because now a fucking droid's crying. If a droid cries, that's the only thing that'll get Darth David to cry. The only thing in the galaxy that will get me to shed a tear is a droid crying. And I didn't even know that until just last night. It was fucking sad as fuck.
That was sad.
You know, I like that one guy. Well, I never remembered his name, but he's friends with Cassian, the construction. I think they worked on the construction site together. Do we know him? I think he's a goner. I think he might even get killed in next week.
What did you think that?
Because he's a nice guy. And what do they do in movies and TV shows? Well, this is just like storytelling 101. You have them do something nice, be something nice. Be kind or be heroic right before you kill him. And that guy wanting to take in B was very sweet, very nice. He's like, come on, stay with me. You know, and then B's like, oh, can you stay in this scene? He's like, okay, just one night. So that guy's being nice. So I think that guy's a goner in episode 12. I hate to say it. That's an official Darth David prediction.
What about Bix? Do you think she sold...
I think Bix is going to stay alive.
But do you think she sold Luthen out? Or
no.
Do you think she told that it was Krieger?
I think she said it was Krieger.
So Krieger...
It's perfect, right?
Krieger's like the Kaiser, so like he's the bag man that
fucking
everyone...
Krieger. Brian Dable.
I want to say
Kaiser
Soze.
He's probably a nice guy too. Like Brian Dable is just like a fat, jolly like football coach. And this Krieger probably just like, my name's Anto Krieger. I just love blowing up some aliens and some empires, some Imperials. Yeehaw! Come on down to Anto Krieger's. If you need blasters, we got all kinds of blasters. If you need a spaceship, we got all kinds of spaceship. It's Anto Krieger's. Woohoo! Rebellion discount store. Whatever, you know, he like I can see Anto Krieger running some kind of huge fucking, you know, shop where he's like selling rebel supplies to people.
Yeah, I got that. I got that one.
What else? What else is going on?
Well, I think
in Andor, before we wrap up Andor and do a Star Wars cage match.
Oh, we're doing that? I thought we were... Okay. Mon Mothma?
Why wouldn't we do a Star Wars cage match? We do one every week.
Oh, I thought we were doing best.
It's a folk... That's a new segment I'm bringing in. A new wrinkle.
Okay.
Just because we bring in something new, Daddy, don't mean we can't do something that I love to do, which is a Star Wars cage match.
Okay, fine.
All right, continue now with your Andor. You have the button. You give us some takeaways before we move on.
Do you think Vel is going to bail out Mon Mothma, or do you think that she's going to let... Because she was like, how much do you owe? And I'm like, didn't you just get didn't you get a piece of that windfall from the heist?
I don't think so. She didn't do it for the money. She's rich. So she literally stole all that money for the rebellion. I think Luthen got all the $40 million.
So do you think that she's going to bail her cousin out? Or do you think
they're clearly close. So I think if Vel needs help,
no.
You think Vel is going to bail Mon Mothma out?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting... I don't know. What if Vel kills that gangster? So that there's no issues with that guy.
I think... Is it Vel going to let Mon Mothma, like, the thing snowball so it puts
straight
more...
up. As I said it out loud, I actually think I hit what's going to happen.
You think
she was... Mon Mothma said to Vel, like, I screwed this up. Because instead of getting help, all I did was make it known to him that I'm engaging in shady shit. And now he knows that I'm doing this stuff. because she doesn't have any intention of working with him. I believe that, but now this guy knows it. She told that right to Vel.
Okay.
Vel.
Okay. That could be it.
I think it's it. I thought it was a fantastic episode yet again. And this is not a lot of pressure, I don't think, for next episode, since we know we're getting 12 more episodes of this in season 2.
So, last thing on Andor.
Yes.
Cyril.
Cyril! He's going to the party. Well, so that was my big takeaway. Okay, you do your Cyril point.
I want to ask you, see, the ongoing thing that we see is Andor's always not afraid to do whatever needs to get done to get the fucking job done. And Cyril kind of doesn't have the balls to execute properly.
I'm not sure if he has the balls. It's that, no, I think he's a bit of a choke artist. I'm not sure if it's balls. I think that he freezes because he's green. It's like a wrestler being in their match for the first time and they don't know what to do, where to go. They don't know what position to be in because they're green. And I think that Cyril, like, I'm not sure if he's full of fear. I think that in some ways he doesn't have a lot of fear. He does go for it, but then it's like he's over his head. He's smart, but it's a book smart. But it's not. He is not.
He's not cunning.
Up to the military mustard that the Empire is.
But Andor is like, if I got to pull the trigger, I'll pull the trigger. And
that is true. Andor's a killer.
I don't think Cyril has it in him to pull the trigger.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
He's pissed off at Andor, but Andor's not going to think twice to kill him. Like, Cyril's going to think about it.
He's going to that funeral. So that's the final takeaway for me is that this funeral is going to be awesome.
Do we see Cyril in season 2?
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say Cyril gets whacked in the finale. But it's a good call.
Okay.
It's a good call. Give us a Star Wars cage match. And then it's time to go.
I've got it. Saw Gerrera.
Oh.
First Prince. Oh, no. You don't like face and baby face. I remember now. So I was going to say Princess Leia because I thought that'd make a great match.
Well, it would lead to an existential discussion about whether Saw Gerrera is even a baby face or not. Is he a baby face or is he a heel? Because while Saw Gerrera is certainly working for the rebellion, he's not working for the rebellion. He's working for himself. While he hates the Empire, he's willing. He's too willing, just like Luthen, to deal with friendly fire and collateral damage, and basically code for if 24 innocent people get killed, fuck it. There's a bigger war. Like that's that. Like Leia and Mon Mothma would choose specific Imperial military targets, like the 2 Death Stars, like spaceships, like different bases. But Saw Gerrera and Luthen are kind of like, we'll just fucking blow up anything. And if you're in the way and you die, sorry. So I don't even know if Saw is 100% babyface. Nevertheless, Saw Gerrera versus who?
Leia.
Okay. Saw Gerrera versus Leia. This is difficult. First of all, it's an intergender match, which I'm slightly uncomfortable with. I mean, we don't have rules. Well, I guess you know what?
I feel like we've put
yeah, because Siths can fight.
Phasma.
Yeah, Sith women have fought or Jedi women have fought Siths and Sith. Okay, fine. Saw Gerrera, Leia. Well, Leia knows how to throw a good punch. We've seen her punch a lot of people. Saw Gerrera, crazy, nuts. This is going to be a surprise. I'm going with Leia, and here's why. Saw Gerrera, bad leg. Yeah? Bad leg, bad knees. Now you get Saw Gerrera and Leia in an octagon, and she knows that he's got bad legs and bad knees. Oh, it's over. She'll pounce him. First, she'll punch him in the face, and when he's staggering, she'll go right for the legs, and he'll be tapping out, and that'll be the end of the match. Leia for the win.
Really?
Yeah.
So, okay, I was going to say Saw Gerrera because I think that he would fucking kill himself before.
he just takes out a grenade and blows them both up.
Yes. He'd rather
I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for the rebellion.
Yeah.
And then Leia's like, actually, you're not. You're killing us both. You make these grandiose statements, Saul, but you're just about to blow us both up. That's all you're doing.
Yes.
All right. So that's your fucking thing?
Yeah.
That's your thing. Fine. That's it. That's it.
That's it?
No more bullshit.
No more bullshit.
It's time to get going.
Okay, good.
It's time.
It's late. I'm tired.
Oh my God. It's late. Listen to him.
It is late. It's dark out.
It's dark. Can they see outside? Can they see outside? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
dark.
think I should put the window shades when it's nighttime?
No.
Does that make any difference?
No, you close the shades at night. That's what you're supposed to do. It's not going to affect the lighting.
I'm talking
Dark
about.
out.
I'm talking about. For the Yaddle audience. Like if it's a beautiful snowy Christmas out there, maybe I should open up the window.
I hope it's not a white
That would be
Christmas.
beautiful.
So anyway.
Well, for you're hoping for a white Hanukkah.
Well, it's around the
Is
same
that what we
time.
do?
It's around.
Do you have any famous white Hanukkah songs like that? I'm
Dreidel,
dreaming.
Dreidel.
No, but I mean, do you guys wish for a white Hanukkah? No. You said that like I'm a goddamn moron.
Well, because it's a very like.
It would be
Let's
nice.
for a white Hanukkah Christmas.
I'm dreaming of a white Hanukkah. Come on.
We say keep the Han in Hanukkah, and then there's the Han Solo holding a menorah.
That's good.
Yes.
You get me one of those, I'll proudly display it right here at Yaddle Chattle. We're all inclusive here.
I also
at Yaddle Chattle.
every year I put up for Hanukkah the Star of Larry David.
I like that too. I love Curb Your Enthusiasm. All right, listen. What are we doing? We are wrapping it up.
Okay, fine.
Next week,
Finale.
we're going to be releasing the show on our usual day of Friday, or will we be releasing it on Wednesday?
We'll talk that post.
Okay. So at the very latest, look for Friday night next week because it's Thanksgiving week. Possibly look for the show on Wednesday. No guarantees about either. But we have to do it because of episode 12.
So, any fan art, any questions, theories, ideas for any kind of bit for the show, you can email us at yaddlechattle@gmail.com. You can follow Eastside Dave across all social media platforms at Eastside Dave.
That's it.
You can check us out on the Eastside Dave TV on YouTube and Yaddle Chattle / The Watchers on any podcast platforms.
That'll do it. Episode 12, Season 1 finale of Andor is next week, so that's going to be a really fun episode. I can't wait. Also, it'll be a little bit of a holiday episode with the Thanksgiving in the air, and I enjoy that too. Star Wars is on fire right now, in my personal opinion. I'm loving it. I don't give a damn, what the ratings are and what the size of the audience is. The show's incredible.
Yes.
I think it's fantastic. He's Jedi Jared, baby. My name is Darth David. We want you to have a great day. Go back and watch your Andors. Go back and watch your Mandos and your Star Wars. And we'll see you next week right here on Yaddle Channel. Good night, everybody.